In this video, I'm going to give you 5 hacks that will help you grow your Instagram account in 2024. And no, I'm not talking about a weird hashtag or a specific posting time or any kind of weird myth like that. I know a lot of gurus right now might tell you, oh, you need to post this hashtag or you need to post at this hour, otherwise you will not blow up, otherwise you will not grow. But that's not true. So with this video, I'm trying to actually give you some proven strategies that I've used myself to reach millions and millions of accounts on Instagram and grow to over 25,000 followers on my main account. And by implementing these hacks and these techniques, you will not only grow, but you will reach your ideal audience that will actually help you make money later down the line. So without further ado, let's get into the presentation. As you may know already, if you've watched my videos, I'm kind of creating a presentation for you and we can kind of walk through it together and I can walk you through the process. So let's start. The first one is researching and recreating the viral content in your niche. Now, guys, it's very important to understand that you don't need, especially at first with a new account, and if you don't really have that much experience, you don't need to like completely start from scratch, meaning you do not need to reinvent the wheel. You do not need to spend, 6 months to come up with content ideas. I've seen a lot of people that just like waste a lot of time trying to think like, oh my God, what should I create? What should I do? Like, no, just go on your Instagram and this will not take you, ages to do. You can literally do this in like 10 minutes a day and just go on your app, open up like the search tab and just like search for keywords in your niche. Now in here, I have some examples. So you could go with something like searching for, workouts. If you're into the fitness niche, you can search for ChatGPT. If you're into digital marketing or like AI prompt writing, you can search for nutrition, all of these different keywords. And so once you did that, then you're going to select 10 to 15 viral reels to recreate. And mind you, I'm not saying you need to like completely copy like one-on-one every single reel that you find. You're going to use these as just as inspiration, but you're still going to use your own footage, right? So I don't want you to like copy other people and then get banned by Instagram. You're going to use your own, like you're going to write your own captions because these are super important. You're going to provide value in the caption and you're going to basically just share your journey with people. And you're just going to use your entire like different unique style, but we're going to use these as a foundation, right? So you can select 10 to 15. And look, if you're starting out, this is more than enough because it's basically like a week or like 2 weeks worth of content. So in here, I just selected some examples for you. So for example, I found this one, this one with like 5 nutrition tips that actually work for weight loss. POV, you want to eat healthier, and you found my account. And these are all videos that really took off, right? So basically what you want to do with these is just like save them somewhere like on your notes app or something like that. And then you're going to later use these as the foundation for your first reels if this is a new account. And then what you need to do is basically analyze the viral hooks and understand why they actually work. So a lot of people are struggling with like coming up with hook ideas and stuff, and that's because they don't really understand the why and the mindset behind actually, writing these hooks. So I just put a little like analysis here of one of my own reels that took off and went viral, and we can kind of go through it together and then we can speak about all of these different like hooks as well, but you're gonna get the point. So basically my reel in here, the hook on it is 30 days of content in 2 minutes. Copy this ChatGPT prompt. And as you can see, it went pretty viral. Right now, I think it's sitting at around 2.4 million views. And let's see why that actually worked. This video has over 2 million views, like I said, and it went viral because it presents a solution to a problem, right? So the problem was the lack of time, showing how you can make 30 days of content in just 2 minutes, instantly sparking that curiosity. And as for the viral elements, we have the achievement X in a timeline Y, which is basically a great solution in a short amount of time, right? And I've also used a double hook, making people stay and actually watch the video, right? So the first hook being 30 days of content in 2 minutes, and then the second hook, copy this ChatGPT prompt. The big thing with this reel was that with this hook was that it tackled that issue, that problem, right? That people have in terms of creating content which is they don't have a lot of time on, on their hands. So basically I tackled that by saying, you can make X days worth of content, right, in a couple of minutes. And when people were scrolling, they were like, wait, I gotta like watch this reel, right? And then I basically delivered the value, which in this case was literally just the ChatGPT prompt, showing a screen recording of the ChatGPT prompt and how it works, right? So you got to think of stuff like that. No matter the niche, no matter what niche you're in, you got to think like, okay, what problem or like what solution does this hook actually tackle? And if we look at some examples that I picked in here, let's say this one, right? Let's say you're in the nutrition niche. So we have 5 nutrition tips that actually work for weight loss, right? And then we have this text in here that says 5 unsexy nutrition tips I swear by as a dietitian. So when people are scrolling, let's say somebody's interested in, losing some weight, if they actually, see this video and read the actual hook, they're like much more likely to actually engage with the video and just, be there, sit on the video, sit to watch the video. So you have to constantly, like, if you're in the nutrition niche, and if you're watching this, like, you might think, okay, I can make something like this. And it's that easy. And this might sound like, super basic or whatever, but it's really like the basics that, just trick people, and a lot of people just miss the simple stuff. And sometimes just doing the simple things works. So to bring it back, just research your niche with the keywords, whatever niche you're in, right? And you got to know your niche. And I'm later going to do an entire video on how to, like a really in-depth video on how to pick your niche. But basically search for the keywords in that niche. And then you're going to eventually find a lot of reels, and you got to go to the reels tab in here, right? On the top right. And then you're just going to like pick the reels that have like millions of views, and then just look at the hooks. Look at the hooks and understand why are these reels working. If we take a look at this one, for example, it's like 5 protein breakfasts I eat on repeat to build muscle and lose fat. So it instantly tackles a solution, like a problem, something that people in that niche are interested in. And you could do something like that if you're in the fitness niche. This one as well. It's like POV, you started doing these 2 exercises regularly for 2 minutes each, and now your hip mobility has improved and your sciatic nerve pain, whatever that is gone, right? So look at how like simple this is, and it's literally the guy just, doing the actual exercises, on a wall, and it's got like over 200,000 likes. So this is what you will do as well. And this is one of the best hacks. That's why I put it to number 1, because by doing this, by actually analyzing what type of reels and what type of hooks are really performing in your niche, then you're going to be able to just make use of that as inspiration, recreate that stuff, and then just implement that in your content. I'm not saying you need to copy, but just use stuff as inspiration. I don't know why a lot of people are starting to create content on Instagram without actually doing their homework to research their niche. So this is hack number 1, research and recreate viral content in your niche. And now for the hack number 2, create shareable content. It's all about them, it's not about you, right? And I'm gonna get into it, and I made a little like drawing in here, like with some things that will actually make you understand this, right? So this is you in here on the left side, and on the right side we have your audience. Let me just zoom out. And so basically in the middle we have like the actual content, like whatever, whether that's a reel, like a story or a carousel, whatever that is, right? Like the piece of content. The more value and actionable tips and freebies and resources you provide, the more shares you're going to get for that content, the more saves, right? And the more views you're going to get. The more you're posting just for yourself, the less shares, saves, and views you're going to get. So whatever niche you're in, you have to think, okay, with this piece of content, let's say I'm posting a reel, right? Am I posting this just for myself? Like, is it like a selfish reel trying to like show off? Or am I actually giving something to the audience? So you need to that's why like you're not getting shares, that's why you're not getting saves. And shares, by the way, is the number one thing with this new algorithm for Instagram, because the more shares you will get, the more the algo will push the video. So if you're not getting any kind of like shares or engagement, is because you're not actually giving people something that they can take for themselves and apply in their actual day-to-day life. No matter the niche you're in, you could give them something. If you're in marketing, you could give them some techniques, some tips for like reaching new clients. Or if you're into fitness, you could just give them like a routine that will help their back pain, whatever that is. You can give them something, and make a screenshot of this and just keep this in mind whatever you're creating content, because this is what actually helped me. When I started, I was just posting for myself, right? I wasn't giving people something they can take and use in their own process. But everything changed when I started to give actionable tips and resources that people can integrate in their life. And going back to this video, this is actually the first, that's why I put it here. This is the first video that took off for me, the first on my personal brand, the first video that kind of like blew my account up. And with this one, just from this one video, I went from 200 to over 10,000 followers in just a couple of days. And it was crazy, right? And it kind of changed everything for me. But that's because I understood that, okay, it's time to actually give people something that they can use, like for real, not just like talk about random stuff, not just talk about my journey. And by the way, it is important to talk about your journey and just like share your story with people. But at the end of the day, people are quote unquote, selfish. I mean, we're constantly thinking, what can we get from this video? And with this video in particular, like I said, I tackled that problem, like the lack of time. And then I literally gave them something. In the description, I gave them the prompts that they can just steal, they can take, they can copy and paste, right? So constantly think about what actionable tips and what value do my people, the viewers that watch the reel, what do they get from the reel, right? And this is your viewer right here. They're constantly thinking, what's in it for me, right? So if you just keep this in mind whenever you're creating content, or whenever, take a look at the content on in your niche on Instagram, right? Take a look at the reels, and you're gonna notice that the reels that don't really give you something, you're just like scrolling past them. Again, I'm gonna use the fitness niche. If you're into like workout routines and stuff like that, if you don't actually get the workout routine and like some awesome exercises from a video, what are you going to do? You're going to scroll away, right? So it's the same principle for any kind of niche. So look here, right? So we have like POV, you want to eat healthier, and you found my account. And this guy's probably showing like how to do this meal or like a couple of meals. This girl right here, lose 5 kilograms in 1 week, drink. And she's probably showing how to make that drink, right? This guy with the movement. So viewers are instantly able to get something, some type of value from these videos, and that's why they have thousands of shares. So keep this in mind, create shareable content. It's all about them and not you. Let's move forwards to the third hack, which I've used myself and it's amazing, which is educate through carousels. So carousel posts are amazing because they allow you to just educate your audience and just provide tons and tons of value. And I provided some examples in here. So for example, this is one of my recent carousels, and it has this 30 hooks to go viral title. And then I'm literally, again, giving people something they can use, right? And because I'm helping people create content and monetize their content with digital products, this will really help them. So they can use these hooks in their niche. And I have 30 of them, so there's a lot of value there. Going forward, I have viral content strategy ChatGPT prompts, right? So I have an actual prompt that people can use, and I broke that down into the carousel really nicely. It's super visual. And again, the prompts, they're able to get the prompt right from here. So constantly think, what do people get and how can I educate them more with my carousels? Because while these may not get as much engagement as some of your reels at first, they will really help you grow, because I had carousels really like take off for me for like 2 weeks after I actually posted them, right? So it may not be instant, but still, they're amazing for educating and actually connecting with your audience, right? Because they will position you as an expert as well. The more value you get, the better. And right, so we have this one in here, how to use ManyChat for auto replies. So I'm basically with this, I'm just basically giving people a step-by-step tutorial they can implement. And I've had just a lot of people just DM me being like, that helped me so much because I actually wanted to implement that. And why did I make this post? Well, I made it because I was looking at people on other pages, on in the comment section. I was speaking to the people in my community, people inside my coaching program, and a lot of them were like, I don't really know how to use ManyChat. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to make a post talking about how you can implement ManyChat in the process. And basically with these, again, I just gave a lot of actionable tips and value, right? And a lot, I educated the audience a lot, and these will really help you grow, especially with a new account, because the more value, the more you educate, the more you're going to reach that ideal audience that you want to then basically connect with on a deeper level. So the carousels are amazing for that. Do not neglect those. I'm probably going to make a video on in-depth video on like how to create carousels and how I make them, but they're really, really important. And right now with the new algorithm, the carousels may, they're almost at the same level as the reels, or even better at times, if you really know what to do with them. But that's the general thing, is like try to educate as much as possible. Going forward, we have the fourth hack, which is basically share your journey through stories. So this is super important. Why? Because again, it will help you not only grow, but connect with your audience, which is what you want. You don't want to just like spam content without actually connecting, with your audience. Whether whether you have like a business page and you want to grow it, or you want to grow your personal brand, you need to connect to your audience somehow. And just spamming content, no matter how valuable that is not enough. You need to post on your stories, and especially if you're trying to grow a personal brand, sharing your journey on your stories, and even as a business, like sharing the way you started the business, and that process is like, it's so important, because it will help the audience just relate to you more. And ultimately people buy from people they trust, but also people buy from people they like. So if if you can get people invested in your story, and I call this, in terms of like the personal brand, I call this the hero journey, like the hero story, the hero arc. So how the hero started, what struggles he encountered, and then what solutions he found, and how he became better over time. If you can share this through your stories, and then just later adding them to the highlights as I'm doing here, then you're, even with a new account, you're going to get people look over those stories and be like, okay, this is somebody that I can actually connect with. This is somebody, that's a real person. Like, it's not a spam, like weird account. So that's what you want to do. And in here, I just put an example of my highlights that I have, with like the social proof that I have, with testimonials in here, for like testimonials from my coaching program. I have my paid products. I have my freebies in here, like a free course, the community. But the most important one, like I said, is this My Story one, in which I'm basically adding stories of just, this is just me talking about my story, sharing my journey. And then what you want to do with these is just post a lot. And these could be just like photos, pictures of yourself from your camera roll. And people, like I said, will get to know you on a personal level, which is what you want if you really want to grow a personal brand, especially. But like I said, it works for a business as well. You could just share that process in terms of growing the business, and your like values, your ambition, like your vision. And just a few examples here, I'm literally talking about my mission. I'm sharing my like journey, my process. I'm talking about this time last year was a mess. I remember I was constantly going to clinics for checkups because of my stress. Agency wasn't really working. So I'm just talking about like that hero arc. And then I know this might sound corny, but you need to do this if you actually want to grow, and if you actually want to connect with people, because then you can offer them freebies. This will build even more trust. So by just sharing your journey through the stories and through the highlights, saving them there. You're basically going to get people invested in you. And then when you, on top of that, when you give them like free value and like free products, you're going to win them over. So this is what you can do. And ultimately, you know, you can invite people to your community, nurture your audience even more. And then later down the line, you can start actually charge and just make money, which is, you know, ideal. So again, sharing the journey through stories, super important. Do not neglect this. I would say focus on the stories and just focus on trying to like open up and be vulnerable as much as you can, right? It's not just about like filming reels and just spamming reels or carousels. Like try to be an actual human being using Instagram and connecting with people, sharing your, you know, your struggles, your mistakes, your, you know, the solutions that you found. It all adds up, and trust me, it will really help your growth. And especially with the new accounts, you need to post as much as possible. And you can start your My Story highlights. You can save the stories that you're posting to that highlight, so when people find your profile, they can actually click on the highlight and get to know you more. And this will really help, again, build that trust, because especially with a new account, if you're sitting at 50 followers, no matter what you're doing, people are just not gonna like trust you as much. But again, if you're vulnerable, if you're opening up, people will connect with you and it will really help you grow. And that's what I've been doing from the jump, right? Like I remember I was posting this story when I had like 50 followers, something like that, just talking about my mission, you know? And that's the thing, when new people, when non-followers come to your page and they see this, they're like, oh, okay, so this is somebody that is sharing, you know, their mission, their goals, their ambition. Like, let me take a look. Instead of just, again, like spamming content and spamming like reels, trying to just go viral, because that's the thing. A lot of people are just trying to go viral, right? Like a lot of people are just trying to get views, but you want to nurture your audience and you want to connect with them. And last but not least, in terms of the hacks, we have this: mix visual hooks with your own footage. And I put one of my own examples in here, and I'm going to play it in a sec after we're taking a look at the explanation. And basically with these, what you want to do is find those like trendy, funny videos, like really weird videos sometimes on Instagram, and you can just find them on the Reels tab. Like they're super popular nowadays, and basically stitching them up with your own footage and just making use of that, because that will actually draw people in even more, because it's a visual, it's what we call a visual hook. And let me just walk you through the process for one of my own reels that really took off. So basically I made this reel, and as you can see, it's not me in the footage, right? It's just a couple of kids, and this little guy in here is about to hit this little guy with like a ball. I'm gonna like play the video in a sec. And basically, I put this like POV, you made 30 viral reels in 20 seconds. So I literally took that type of hook that I already had on a lot of my reels, but I used it with this, right? To draw attention even more. And that's the funny video, right? Funny viral video. And then as soon as the like beat drops with I used an audio as well. Then I just literally, I show people the hook in here, not the hook, the prompt for like the reels in ChatGPT, and then I deliver the value, so exactly when the ball hit that kid's head, I cut a video and show them my usual ChatGPT prompt style video, which is just a screen recording, like an overlay. And as you can see, this video reached a lot of accounts, like a lot of people, and it has a watch time of over 700 hours, which is really crazy, and over like 400 shares, I think, by now. A lot of comments, and I've gotten like over 1,000 followers just from this video alone. So it's performing really well. And now let me actually play it for you so you can see what's happening. Right, so this is basically it. I just found this like random funny video, and I mixed it with my own footage. And then basically, again, this is kind of like a hack that you can use. I wouldn't overuse it, because obviously you want to use your own footage and you want to be like completely original. But from time to time, this hack, especially if you do it right, it can work really well. Why? Because you're still delivering the value, you're not tricking your audience in any. I mean, technically you are tricking them for like 2 seconds, right? Because you're just trying to get them hooked on the video, no pun intended, with this visual hook. And then again, when they're scrolling, they're gonna find this funny video, and you can add a text hook like I did in here as well. And then you can just like get them to watch the actual reel and still deliver the value, still write the actual captions with the value there, and maybe give them something for free like I did in here. I said drop a viral, and I'll send you the link to my free course, right? So it's a lot of, basically, it's a lot of value packed in this video. But again, we're making use of that viral video, that funny video, as a visual hook. And I have one more example that I want to show you, and it's this one, and it's literally the same type of hook. I just changed it a bit, but I found another video, and this one is taking off as well. It's over 120,000 views, I think, right now. And let's play it now. So it's like, it's funny. And again, that's the point. Like, you can sometimes just use these, and no matter the niche you're in, you can still use these to kind of like draw people in even more, and just find like clever ways and like creative ways to just stitch these up with your own footage. And like I said, don't overdo it, but this is why I put the hack in, because it's super popular right now on Instagram and everybody's doing it, like even celebrities. But again, the entire point is to actually deliver value and connect with your audience, so you can make use of this. If you're still struggling to grow your Instagram account and you need more help, you can now work with me one-on-one inside of my coaching program. There, we're going to do one-to-one weekly calls, and I can help you through the entire process, from what type of content you could create, how to create it, from the editing part to posting to writing to every single thing, to help you actually grow and optimize your account and take it to that point where you can launch and scale your digital product so you can actually make money. So if you want to work with me, I'm going to drop a link below and you can book your free discovery call. And I'm excited to get to know you and actually help you inside of the program.